Okay, we're in week 14, chapter 14. Higher education. Question number 1, should college education be required for applicants applying to become police officers? Why or why not? Question number 2, in your opinion, is it important to regard policing as a profession and not just as a job? What is the difference between the two titles? I can tell you I've gotten into a lot of arguments with some of my friends that are in that profession and our profession of policing over that. But you tell me what you think.
Well, there's a couple of things that you have to be 21. You don't have to be a citizen. You can actually be in the process of becoming a citizen, but you have to be 21 by the time you graduate. That's number 1. But what I always tell everybody, particularly those that are in like high school, I go, look, if you're thinking about being a cop, you have to ask yourself if that's really what you want to do. A lot of people come on the job thinking, hey, it's a good job. You get all this vacation and I get all these benefits. Well, it's not like working for a company necessarily. It's a totally different job. You have to understand that it's a community job. Are you a person that wants to work in the community and you want to be able to help the community? Then that's a start. But you also have to have a relatively crime-free background. The police department does a very thorough background check on you once you apply and you pass the initial test. There's actually several steps in order to get there, and one of them is just passing the initial test. But there's a background test, there's a physical test, there's a mental test, and the background test is probably the toughest one for people to pass because we're people, and people make mistakes sometimes. And if you tell your background investigator, hey, you know what, when I was 15, yeah, you know what, I got in trouble, I did this and this and this. That's cool because you told your background investigator. If you did not tell your investigator and you wrote on your background sheet, no, I've never been in trouble with the police, never been in trouble with my school, never been fired from my job, and they find out then on your application, because they're going to ask everybody, they're going to go and, we have the resources to not only call people, but to look up your records, say, hey, what about this? Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I forgot about that. You know what they'll tell you? Bye. Our ratio of getting hired is about 1 applicant will get hired to 1,000 people who will try to sign up. So 1 to 1,000. So you can imagine that. And it's very tough to get not only hired, but to get through that whole process. And then you go into the academy, which is 7 months of schooling, and you're paid right from the first day. You're on salaries, so that's a good thing. But it's a very tough process for a lot of people because that 7 months is not only physically, but it's mentally challenging. They put you to the test. They're going to work you because they want to see if you're cut out to be a cop, because it's not for everybody. And then after you're done with that, you go into probation for a year. So you'll be assigned to what we call a P1, a police officer 1. And you're going to go to a station and you're going to work with seasoned people like me, P3s, where we're going to go out into the field and we're going to go on radio calls and we're going to help people and we're going to do things for people. And I will, as a training officer, I'm going to rate you every day on things that you do. Are you able to handle the equipment? Are you able to have safe tactics? What are you doing when we're working with the public? All those things you get rated on every day for a year. You don't pass that, we tell you, thank you very much, goodbye. Our ratio for passing is pretty good. We pass, I would say the majority of people pass. The ones that don't pass are the ones that either say, it's not for me, or it's clearly not for them. And some of the people that it's clearly not for, it's quite obvious right from the beginning, and we actually take them aside and go, hey, look, you know what? I totally understand you maybe want to be a police officer, but maybe it's not the job that you think it is. Maybe you should really reevaluate where you are. And then after that, you get assigned as a P2, and we have over 350 jobs here in the LAPD that you can do. Then they range from being patrol officer, obviously, to investigative, to you name it, we do it. And we're like a large organization that not only is a police department, but we provide a service to the city, and we do quite a bit.
Officer Patrice Malone has been a police officer for 2 years. She believes going to college, where she majored in criminal justice, makes her a better police officer.
So dealing with people on a regular basis in college, and then coming out and being able to deal with the community, college provided me that aspect and gave me the courage and everything I needed, and patience, a lot of patience to go out, talk to people.
The deaths of several black men and women while in police custody has focused attention in the U.S. on the training police receive. In terms of education, a 2017 study found that the vast majority of U.S. law enforcement agencies, more than 80%, require only a high school diploma. A 2010 study published in Police Quarterly found that college-educated police officers are 40% less likely to use force on the job.
But I would venture to say somewhere in the high 90 percentile of our officers come here with a bachelor's degree.
Officer Malone's boss is a college professor in addition to being a police chief.
College teaches you how to be a critical thinker. I mean, a big part of the college experience is for you to look at things and to think through them beyond the obvious. It exposes them to different ideas. And one of the things you hear all the time is whether there's bias in law enforcement. Well, it's ridiculous to think that everyone out here doesn't have any kind of bias at all, but what's critical is you understand what those are and you manage those things, and I think college and that exposure really helps you with that.
Chief Farr believes all U.S. police officers should have a college degree, but money and other resources can get in the way.
Pay structures, what agencies can pay, what they can bring to bring that level of professionals across the country varies tremendously. I happen to work in a very affluent community that really demands a high-quality education of our staff. Not to make any less of departments that might be somewhere else in the country, but they may not have those same resources. So putting that qualifier as a mandate, I think, would be really difficult.
It appears a college education would not have changed the outcome for George Floyd. The Minnesota man died after a police officer knelt on his neck for nearly 8 minutes. 3 of the 4 officers charged in relation to Floyd's death reportedly graduated from college.
Black lives, they matter here!
In the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests that erupted after Floyd's death, Officer Malone has noticed a difference in some of the people she deals with on the job.
I mean, it's changed a little bit. I've noticed that, the community might be a little distant. But like I said, you just go out, you do the same thing that you do before. You just reassure the community that you're there for them, that you're there for their safety, and that's how you regain their trust. Going out every day.
In Arlington, Virginia, Dora McQuarr, VOA News.
A career versus a job. How they are different and why it matters. Let's first evaluate what is a job. Normally, the main purpose of a job is to earn money. Also, it tends to be more of a short-term goal or pursuit, and usually does not require specialized skills, training, or a college degree. Now, let's evaluate what is a career. It is a profession or an occupation. Tends to be more of a long-term goal or pursuit, often requires specialized skills, training, or a college degree, and people normally are motivated by personal satisfaction. Let's look at some examples of jobs. A cashier, a retail stock clerk, a parking lot attendant, a dishwasher, and a barista. Now let's look at some examples of careers. A carpenter, electrician, a lawyer, a nurse, a firefighter. All of these are careers, and they all take skills and or an education. Both careers and jobs do have benefits. What are the benefits of having a job? You have the opportunity to earn money, and also you have the opportunity to learn soft skills, which will benefit you in the future. What are some examples of soft skills you'll most likely learn on a job? You'll learn teamwork, communication, to be dependable, to develop a strong work ethic, and many more. On the other hand, what are the benefits of a career? The benefits of a career far outweigh the benefits of a job. What are some of the key benefits of having a career? Job security, higher earning potential, more opportunity for advancement, a higher level of personal satisfaction, and the feeling of self-worth and a sense of accomplishment. Both jobs and careers are good and have benefits, and most people start off with a job or two and later on switch over to a career. The job is a great starting point to earn money and develop important skills. Keep in mind, though you should pursue a career, careers are not easy to obtain. They do take planning, commitment, hard work, and sacrifice. However, the benefits of having a career are priceless.
Okay, that's it. Enjoy your week and your weekend.